Hey everybody, CipherCynical here, back at it again with another Bedwars tips video. So the last one I made like 5 months ago went really well, and as I'm making this video is my third most popular YouTube video, which is pretty cool. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll make another. So in this video, I'll go over some Bedwars tips for solos and doubles modes for beginners. I had a comment on my last one saying, everybody knows that, when it clearly said in the title it was for beginners. So if you're expecting me to tell you high IQ Bedwars strats, you will be sorely disappointed. Anyways, the first tips I'm going to be saying are sort of optional, but really help your Bedwars experience. And I also put timestamps of each tip in the comments below so you guys won't have to sit through my annoying ass voice between tips. And also, please like and subscribe if this remotely helps you. It would mean the world to me. But anyways, let's get into this video. Okay, so the first optional tip is learn how to speed bridge. Speed bridging is very popular in the Bedwars community. So if you don't speed bridge, you'll be like that one dude who didn't bring his homework to class when everyone else did. So what I'm basically saying is that it will make you very slow compared to everyone else, especially when rushing, which I'll get to in a moment. So just look up some speed bridging or ninja bridging tutorials on YouTube and you should get used to it in under a week or so. Now this tip is very optional, and I actually kind of recommend you look into your mouse and test your aim before you go along with this tip. But anyways, learn how to do different types of clicks. There are hundreds of different types of clicks out there that can make or break your PvP experience. For example, there's normal clicking, which 90% of new PvPers use and what you most likely use. Jitter clicking, the one I use. Butterfly clicking, and many others like drag clicking. Some click types are easier than others, but in my opinion, it's really up to many factors like what mouse you use, how easy it is to you, blah 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 blah. Anyways, I put some clicking type tutorials in the description below if you need any help. Okay, now let's do some mandatory tips. So basically tips that will help your PvP experience and your game experience. Okay, so my first mandatory tip is learn how to rush. This is a mistake that most new Bedwars players make, and it's that they don't know how to rush. Basically, rushing is when you go to multiple other enemy bases as fast as you can to break their bed and get them out of the game. What most new players are doing wrong is that they are not rushing in the beginning of the game and focus on other aspects, like diamond rushing or defending your bed. Yes, this might be what the point of Bedwars is, but most of the time, you have to rush because the enemy player next to you will most likely take out your bed. This also stems from my previous tip, learn how to speed bridge, because a majority of rushing is getting to the enemy base before they come to your base. So what I suggest is, at the beginning of the game, like right when you begin, get a stack of wool in the beginning of the game, which is 16 iron, and a piece of TNT, which is 4 gold. Bridge to the enemy base to the left or right of you, and then take out their bed and kill them for a final kill. Do this to every other enemy base in the game, but don't focus on defending your bed too much. If you're decent at PvP and game sense, the most you should do is a wool defense, but if you're not, just put a layer of endstone. But don't leave the video and start rushing yet, because I have another tip that you have to follow or else your rushing and Bedwars career will go into shambles. And that is, do not flat bridge. I see this mistake made by so many people. Basically what flat bridging is basically self-explanatory. When you rush, you make a flat bridge that just goes straight to the enemy base. Do not do this. Enemy players can easily build up and flank you from behind when you flat bridge and easily get to your base and take out your bed. What I suggest is build up a couple blocks high, maybe 8 or 9, and then bridge normally. This also depends on how high your enemy is bridging up to. Remember, if your enemy is building up high, you build higher. The high ground is key. Anyways, that should kind of be it for rushing. My next tip is consistently get diamonds. So after you rush your first base, you can do one of two things. 1, rush another base, or 2, you rush diamonds. I recommend you rush diamonds, but you can do whatever you want. It kind of depends on your skill. Usually when I rush diamond, there is around like 4 diamonds in the generator. Next, I go to my base and buy the select upgrades with said diamonds. 1. Reinforced armor, which is 2 diamonds. 2. Heal pole, which is 1 diamond. And 3. A minor fatigue trap, which is 1 diamond. You can get sharpness, but I recommend getting a trap because usually someone else could rush your base. But anyways, after you get this, consistently rush bases and collect diamonds. You don't want to do too much of either. So if you get the chance, get diamonds. Usually after I get the first round of diamonds, I get 4 more and I usually get sharpness from there. Alright, so this tip is, learn when to void. Voiding is when you fall into the void when your bed is in a situation of being broken or you just want to start back at your base. But remember, do not void when your bed is gone because you cannot respawn. So this kind of depends on what your bed defense is. If your minor fatigue trap is triggered and you still have time and you have a puny wool defense, I recommend not voiding. Why? Because usually it takes up to 4 seconds to fall completely in the void. So that means your enemy has a giant time frame to break your bed, especially with wool. You see, wool is very easy to break, even with a minor fatigue trap. But if you have a second layer of wool or even a better defense, you could and should do this. Alright, so this tip is, have a way to break a bed. There are multiple ways to break a bed with different tools. Usually when you see a bed with wool, you have a couple ways to take out the bed. If you're struggling with an enemy, get TNT. It is cheap and you could take a bed with practically any defense, except one with glass because that's blast proof, pretty easily. Also consider using tools to take out a bed. This works out better if you're at least decent with PvP or game sense. These tools also do not disappear from your inventory when you die compared to TNT, they just lose a tier. Alright, so I have 10 words to say. Avoid diamond armor and swords unless your bed is gone. Sorry for the ear rape. New players make this mistake all the time and it is a total waste of emeralds. If you go to Emerald Island, which you should do sometimes in your game even if your bed is still there, is to get potions and pearls. Potions are literally overpowered as hell and you can use them to your effect to take out beds way more easier. Pearls are really good, especially at the end of the game. If you get thrown into the void, you can clutch easier. And what do diamond swords and armor do? Literally all they do is make you do slightly better damage or take a little less damage. Actually, I kind of recommend diamond swords with sharpness when your bed is gone, but shouldn't use the armor. It literally does jack squat. But anyways, let's move on. I hope this video helped at least a little, but anyways, make sure to like and subscribe. And also remember, there are some tutorials to help in the description. And also check out my other Bedwars tips video. That has some tips that could also really help you out. Anyways, peace.